If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button to join our storytelling community. I stepped into the mansion, my sneakers squeaking on the polished marble floor. The air smelled of lavender and wealth, a stark contrast to my modest apartment. Hired as a nanny for the billionaire's son, I felt like an outsider in this world of chandeliers and gold-trimmed walls. Mr. Harrington, the father, barely glanced at me during the interview. His cold eyes sized me up, deeming me sufficient but unimportant. My job was simple: care for 8-year-old Ethan, keep him fed, and put him to bed. The contract was clear: no overstepping, no personal involvement. Yet, as I climbed the grand staircase to Ethan's room, I felt a strange unease. The house was too quiet, like it was holding its breath. Ethan's door creaked open, revealing a small boy with wide, haunted eyes. He didn't smile, just stared, clutching a worn teddy bear. Something about him tugged at my heart, a silent plea I couldn't ignore. Ethan's room was a paradox, a child's haven filled with expensive toys, yet it felt lifeless. The walls were adorned with paintings of ships and stormy seas, too mature for a boy his age. I introduced myself, kneeling to his level, but he shrank back, wary. "I'm Lily, your new nanny," I said softly, hoping to break the ice. He nodded but didn't speak, his gaze darting to the door as if expecting someone. I unpacked my bag, pulling out a storybook I'd brought to read to him. It was a whim, something to fill the silence. As I read about knights and dragons, his shoulders relaxed slightly. But when I finished, he whispered, "You won't stay long." "They never do." His words hit like a punch, heavy with resignation. I wanted to ask what he meant, but his eyes begged me not to. That night, I tucked him in, feeling the weight of his loneliness. The next morning, Mr. Harrington left for a business trip without a word to Ethan. The staff moved like ghosts, efficient but distant, their faces blank. I tried to engage Ethan with games, but Heiderl. The next morning, Mr. Harrington left for a business trip without a word to Ethan. The staff moved like ghosts, efficient but distant, their faces blank. I tried to engage Ethan with games, but he was hesitant, his trust thin. We built a fort out of blankets in the living room, a small victory. His laughter was rare, like a flicker of light in a dark room. I noticed bruises on his arms, faint but unmistakable, when he rolled up his sleeves. My stomach twisted, but I didn't push him to talk. Instead, I baked cookies, hoping the warmth would coax him out. He ate quietly, his eyes scanning the room nervously. The mansion felt like a cage, beautiful but suffocating. I wondered about his mother, but the staff avoided the topic. That night, as I tucked him in, he grabbed my hand, his grip tight. "Please don't leave me tonight," he whispered, voice trembling. My heart broke, and I promised to stay close. Days passed, and Ethan's guarded nature softened slightly. We played hide-and-seek in the sprawling gardens, his giggles echoing. But shadows lingered in his eyes, a fear I couldn't place. Mr. Harrington called once, his tone sharp, checking on Ethan's schedule. He never asked how his son felt, and I noticed. The staff whispered about past nannies leaving abruptly, their reasons vague. I found Ethan's drawings under his bed, dark scribbles of a man yelling, a boy cowering. My suspicions grew, but proof was elusive. I started documenting odd moments, Ethan's flinches, his quiet spells. At night, he'd crawl into my bed, seeking safety. His small body curled against mine, and I vowed to protect him. The mansion's opulence hid something sinister, I was sure of it. One evening, Ethan showed me a secret hiding spot behind a bookshelf. It was cramped, filled with snacks and a flashlight, his safe haven. He said he went there when things got loud. My blood ran cold, picturing what loud meant. I asked gentle questions, but he clammed up, eyes wide with fear. The staff watched me closely now, their glances sharp. I felt like an intruder, my every move scrutinized. Mr. Harrington was due back soon, and dread settled in my chest. Ethan clung to me more, his whispers desperate at bedtime. I started locking my door at night, paranoia creeping in. The mansion's walls seemed to close in, secrets lurking in every shadow. I needed answers, but I had to tread carefully for Ethan's sake. A week later, I overheard a maid muttering about the incident with Ethan's mother. She stopped when she saw me, her face pale. I searched online but found nothing. Harrington's wealth buried the past. Ethan's nightmares grew worse. He'd wake screaming, "Don't let him find me." I held him, soothing his trembling, but my mind raced. Who was him? The obvious answer terrified me. I contacted a friend in social services, keeping my voice low. She advised caution, saying accusations against someone like Harrington needed ironclad proof. Ethan's trust in me was fragile, and pushing too hard could shut him down. That night, he begged me to stay in his room again. I lay beside him, listening to his uneven breaths, my resolve hardening. I'd find a way to keep him safe, no matter the cost. Mr. Harrington returned, his presence chilling the house. He was charming in public, but his eyes were cold, calculating. At dinner, he criticized Ethan's manners, his voice cutting. Ethan shrank, and I forced a smile, deflecting. Later, I found a locked drawer in Harrington's study, the key hidden poorly. Inside were legal documents, settlements, non-disclosure agreements. My hands shook as I photographed them, heart pounding. Ethan's mother had left after an accident, the papers said. No details, just money to silence her. I hid the photos on a secure drive, my mind reeling. Ethan's fear wasn't childish imagination, it was survival. That night, he whispered his plea again, and I swore I'd never leave him alone with his father. I started noticing cameras in the hallways, their red lights blinking. The staff avoided my questions, their loyalty bought. Ethan stuck to me like glue, his small hand in mine. I taught him to memorize my phone number, just in case. Harrington's temper flared over small things, a spilled glass, a late bedtime. Ethan froze at his voice, and I stepped in, redirecting. My friend in social services urged me to gather more evidence. I kept a journal, noting every bruise, every flinch. The mansion felt like a prison, its luxury a facade. Ethan's teddy bear was his only comfort, clutched tightly. At night, his whispers grew frantic, his fear palpable. I promised him safety, but the weight of that promise grew heavier. One night, I heard footsteps outside my door, heavy and deliberate. I held my breath, clutching my phone, ready to call for help. They passed, but sleep never came. Ethan's drawings grew darker, stick figures running from a towering shadow. I contacted a lawyer in secret, sharing the photos of the documents. She warned me Harrington's influence was vast, legal battles would be brutal. Ethan's trust in me deepened, but so did his fear. He stopped eating much, his eyes hollow. I slipped my friend's contact info into his pocket, whispering, "For emergencies." The mansion's silence was deafening, every creak a threat. I knew time was running out, and I had to act fast to save him. Harrington called me into his office, his smile too polished. He praised my work but asked pointed questions about my methods. My skin crawled, but I kept my voice steady, professional. Ethan waited outside, his eyes locked on me through the glass. I saw a new bruise on his wrist, hidden under his sleeve. Fury surged, but I buried it, nodding politely. That night, Ethan crawled into my bed, shaking. "He's mad again," he whispered, voice barely audible. I held him, my mind racing for a plan. The documents, the bruises, the whispers, they all pointed to danger. I'd get Ethan out, even if it cost me everything. His small hand gripped mine, and I knew I couldn't fail him. I started carrying a hidden recorder, capturing Harrington's outbursts. His voice was low, menacing, never loud enough for witnesses. Ethan's fear was a constant shadow, his eyes darting to every door. I taught him a code word for danger, practicing in whispers. My lawyer friend said the recordings could help, but we needed more. Harrington's staff began locking doors I'd once accessed freely. I felt trapped, watched from every angle. Ethan's nightmares now included me leaving, his pleas desperate. I reassured him, but my own fear grew. The mansion's grandeur mocked us, a gilded cage. I hid my evidence in encrypted files, praying it was enough. Each night, Ethan's whisper, "Please don't leave me tonight," cut deeper. One afternoon, Ethan showed me a scar on his knee, old but jagged. "I fell," he said, but his eyes said otherwise. I photographed it, adding to my growing file. Harrington hosted a gala, his charm dazzling guests. Ethan was sent to his room, out of sight. I stayed close, noticing a guest's pitying glance at him. Later, I found a hospital record in the locked drawer. Ethan's fall required stitches. My heart sank, but anger steadied me. I contacted a safe house, arranging a potential escape. Ethan clung to me, sensing change. The mansion's walls felt tighter, the air thicker. That night, he whispered his plea, and I swore to protect him, no matter what. Harrington caught me near his study, his eyes narrowing. "Curious, Lily?" he asked, voice smooth but threatening. I lied, claiming I was lost, my pulse racing. Ethan was at school, safe for now. I checked the cameras, memorizing their blind spots. My lawyer urged me to file a report soon, before Harrington acted. I taught Ethan to hide if he heard shouting, his small nod solemn. The staff whispered about me now, their loyalty clear. I felt like prey, every step calculated. Ethan's drawings were hidden, but I photographed each one. That night, his whisper came again, trembling with fear. I held him close, planning our escape, my resolve unbreakable. I found a burner phone, stashing it in Ethan's hiding spot. "Use it if I'm not here," I told him, voice firm. He nodded, clutching his teddy bear tighter. Harrington's business trips resumed, giving us a brief reprieve. I met my lawyer in secret, handing over my evidence. She said child services could intervene, but timing was critical. The mansion's staff grew colder, their eyes suspicious. Ethan's appetite waned, his face pale and drawn. I baked his favorite cookies, coaxing a faint smile. The house felt alive, its secrets pulsing in the walls. That night, Ethan's whisper was softer, more desperate. I promised to stay, my heart heavy with the weight of his trust. A maid caught me photographing Ethan's latest bruise, her gasp loud. I played it off, but her report reached Harrington. He called me in, his tone icy, accusing me of overstepping. I apologized, feigning ignorance, my hands trembling. Ethan overheard, his eyes wide with panic. I reassured him in private, promising safety. My lawyer filed an emergency petition, citing abuse. The mansion's cameras seemed to multiply, tracking my every move. Ethan's hiding spot became our sanctuary, his whispers constant. I hid the burner phone better, my paranoia spiking. The evidence was strong, but Harrington's power loomed. That night, Ethan clung to me, his plea a knife to my heart. Child Services contacted me, scheduling a home visit. I warned Ethan to stay calm, coaching him gently. Harrington returned early, his mood volatile, his eyes on me. I kept Ethan close, avoiding confrontation. The staff locked more doors, isolating us further. My lawyer said the visit could trigger an investigation, but proof was key. Ethan's drawings grew frantic, shadows chasing stick figures. I hid my fear, smiling for him, my resolve steel. The mansion's opulence felt like a trap, closing in. That night, Ethan's whisper was a broken record, his fear mine. I vowed to get him out, no matter the stakes. The visit came, and I showed Child Services Ethan's bruises, drawings. They listened, faces grim, promising action. Harrington was away, but his influence lingered. The staff hovered, their silence deafening. I gave Ethan a signal for danger, practicing in secret. My lawyer pushed for an emergency hearing, citing risk. Ethan's trust in me was a fragile thread, holding us together. The mansion's walls seemed to watch, their secrets heavy. I hid my evidence in multiple backups, fearing sabotage. That night, Ethan's plea was softer, his grip tighter. I stayed awake, guarding him, my heart pounding with purpose. Harrington confronted me after the visit, his voice low, threatening. "You're meddling, Lily," he said, eyes like daggers. I denied everything, my voice steady despite fear. Ethan hid in his spot, safe for now. My lawyer said the hearing was set, but Harrington's reach was long. The staff stopped speaking to me, their eyes cold. I checked the cameras, mapping an escape route. Ethan's nightmares worsened, his cries muffled. The mansion's luxury was a lie, its truth dark. That night, his whisper broke me, his fear my own. I promised protection, my plan forming, danger closing in. I found a hidden camera in Ethan's room, its lens glinting. My blood froze, but I disabled it, hands shaking. Ethan didn't know, and I kept it that way. My lawyer warned that Harrington might retaliate soon. I taught Ethan to run to the safe house if needed. The staff's whispers grew bolder, their allegiance clear. I hid my evidence in a new drive, paranoia my shadow. Ethan's drawings were now maps of escape, his hope faint. The mansion felt like a predator, waiting to strike. That night, his plea was a whisper, raw and desperate. I held him, plotting our next move, fear my constant companion. Harrington announced a family trip, his smile too perfect. I knew it was a trap, a way to isolate us. My lawyer filed for emergency custody, citing imminent danger. I packed a small bag for Ethan, hidden in his closet. The staff watched my every step, reporting back. Ethan's fear was palpable, his eyes searching mine. I reassured him, promising freedom, my voice steady. The mansion's walls closed tighter, its secrets suffocating. My evidence was ready, my resolve ironclad. That night, Ethan's whisper was a cry, his trust my anchor. I swore to save him, even if it broke me. The hearing was set for dawn, our chance at freedom. I told Ethan to pack his teddy bear, nothing else. Harrington's temper flared at dinner, his voice a blade. I shielded Ethan, deflecting with calm words. My lawyer said the evidence was strong, bruises, documents, recordings. The staff locked the gates, their orders clear. I memorized every exit, every blind spot. Ethan's eyes were wide, his hope fragile but growing. The mansion's grandeur was a prison, its truth exposed. That night, his whisper was softer, a plea for safety. I held him close, my plan set, my heart racing. At midnight, I heard Harrington shouting, glass breaking. Ethan ran to me, trembling, his teddy bear clutched tight. I grabbed our bag, leading him to the hiding spot. My lawyer was ready, child services on standby. The staff searched for us, their footsteps heavy. I called the safe house, whispering our location. Ethan's fear was a weight, his trust my strength. The mansion's lights flickered, its secrets unraveling. I hid our tracks, moving silently, heart pounding. That night, his plea was a vow, binding us. I promised escape, my resolve a shield against the dark. We slipped through a servant's exit, the night cold and still. Ethan held my hand, his grip fierce, his eyes on me. The safe house was close, a beacon in the dark. My lawyer met us there, her face grim but kind. Child services took Ethan's statement, his voice small but clear. The staff hadn't followed, but Harrington's reach loomed. I handed over my evidence, photos, recordings, drawings. The mansion faded behind us, its hold broken. Ethan's whisper lingered, a reminder of my promise. I stayed by his side, my heart steady, our freedom near. The safe house was small, warm, a stark contrast to the mansion. Ethan clung to me, his teddy bear his shield. My lawyer said the hearing went well. Harrington was under investigation. Child Services documented his bruises, their faces soft. I felt the weight lift, though fear lingered. Ethan smiled for the first time, faint but real. The mansion's shadow was gone, its secrets exposed. My evidence was key, my resolve rewarded. That night, Ethan slept soundly, his plea silent. I watched over him, my heart full, our bond unbreakable. Harrington's empire began to crack, his influence waning. My lawyer said charges were pending, evidence mounting. Ethan started therapy, his voice slowly returning. The safe house became home, its warmth healing. I visited daily, bringing his favorite cookies. The staff were questioned, some turning on Harrington. Ethan's drawings brightened, shadows fading. The mansion was raided, its secrets laid bare. His whisper was gone, replaced by quiet hope. I stayed close, my promise kept, our trust strong. Freedom felt real, though the fight wasn't over. Ethan's mother was found, living quietly, her silence bought. She wept when we met, holding Ethan tight. My lawyer pushed for her custody, the case strong. Harrington's assets were frozen, his power crumbling. The safe house staff taught Ethan to laugh again. I gave my testimony, voice steady, truth clear. The mansion was sold, its darkness emptied. Ethan's nightmares faded, his smile brighter. His plea was a memory, his strength growing. I became family, my role more than nanny. We were safe, our bond a light in the dark. The trial began, Harrington's charm useless now. Ethan testified via video, his voice small but brave. My evidence sealed the case, documents, photos, truth. His mother held his hand, her strength renewed. The safe house was temporary, a new home waited. I stood by them, my heart full, my fear gone. Harrington's empire fell, his secrets public. Ethan's drawings were of skies now, bright and open. His whisper was forgotten, his trust mine. We moved forward, our scars fading, our future bright. Harrington was convicted, his wealth stripped away. Ethan's mother got custody, her love fierce. I visited often, bringing stories and cookies. The safe house staff cheered our victory, their support warm. My lawyer became a friend, her work our salvation. Ethan's laughter filled rooms, his fear a ghost. The mansion's shadow was gone, its walls empty. His drawings hung on our fridge, a testament. His plea was silent, his heart healing. I was more than a nanny, my promise eternal. We were free, our bond a beacon. Ethan started school, his teddy bear retired. His mother found work, her spirit strong. I took a new job, but stayed close, family now. The trial's echoes faded, justice served. The safe house was a memory, its warmth lasting. Ethan's eyes sparkled, his trust complete. The mansion was forgotten, its darkness buried. His drawings were of us, happy and whole. His whisper was gone, his laughter loud. I kept my vow, my heart theirs. We built a home, our scars proof of survival. Years later, Ethan called me Aunt Lily, his smile wide. His mother thrived, her past a distant ache. I watched him grow, my pride fierce. Harrington was a footnote, his power dust. The safe house staff sent letters, their love enduring. Ethan's drawings were art, his talent bright. The mansion was a story, its hold broken. His nightmares were rare, his joy constant. His plea was a memory, his trust my gift. We were a family, our bond unbreakable. Life was ours, built on love and truth. Thank you for joining this journey. Please subscribe to our channel for more heartfelt stories.